everyone. This morning we're going to be covering the wheel deck presentation. I know that it has been sent out. Everybody should have a copy of the wheel. Hopefully you've got it saved on your desktop or someplace easily accessible. And hopefully you have dug into it a little bit. Brett and I are going to run through some basics with it and just show you some of the features. Just kind of run through some of the sections, some of the things you can do with this. So today's agenda, we're going to review what is the wheel. We're going to just do a brief overview of the sections, as I mentioned. I'd like to get some input from you. Those of you who have dug into it and started using it, I'd like to hear from you, hear what you think, any suggestions, anything that you would like to see. And then at the end, we'll take some questions from everyone. So real quick agenda here. We're just going to run through the wheel. Any questions, please, feel free to ask them right away. Brett will monitor the chat window. I'll monitor the chat window. We'll just try and answer any questions you might have. So let me get to the wheel. Just give me a moment here. Brett, let me know when it's up on the screen as well.
Yeah, we see it.
You see it? Okay, terrific. So this is the front page of the current wheel. We will show you later at the end of the presentation. You'll see there's other slides you can use as the front cover. Depending upon the industry you might be doing a proposal to or presenting to. So we'll show you some areas that you can use the slides, but this is the initial one that's attached to it. So the wheel basically, you've got some space in there to put a client date. You can use this and manipulate it a little bit here. The first slide, the first three slides are basically about Michigan.com, who we are. It allows you a chance to address with the person you're presenting to a little bit more information about Michigan.com and open up the discussion a little bit if they have questions about it. So, we're Michigan's largest audience and we have agency level resources. This tells, again, a little bit more about all of our properties as well as the number of monthly visitors we have on all of our sites, broken up into the areas. And then also how it all adds up, again, just more information to help you guys form a picture of what Michigan.com can do for the customer. So that's the first three slides. And you really want to keep that in. I mean, these are brief, bullet points of information that helps us, again, present ourselves as a kind of a unified front with Michigan.com. And, you really do want to keep these into the presentation. They should be in all the presentations. So now here is the actual wheel itself, guys. And the wheel, as you can see, it really breaks down everything that we do into sections. It is, truly a good overview of everything we're doing right now. And each one of these sections is actually a hyperlink to further points on the actual presentation itself. So if you click on one of these hyperlinks, you'll see that your little, pointer changes to the finger, which means you can go directly to the areas that they are indicating. So here, we've got preprint and selects, print ads. So actually this is covering everything, again, including print. We've got our local mobile and desktop solutions. We've got website, social, maps, email marketing, SEO, and PPC. So again, this covers the whole thing. Over here, we've got areas for our proposal and objectives, and we'll dig into those in a few minutes here, how you can, again, use this with your presentation to give your objectives for your campaign as well as the actual proposal price points. So, we're just going to delve into a couple of these and show you guys how you can get to them. Now, I will let you know the hyperlinks to the actual sections only work when you're in the slideshow presentation mode. So, just be aware of that, like if you want to manipulate around, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute here. So, Brett, which one should I pick first, you think? I'll just go to maybe email marketing, do that one first?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I'm just going to click on email marketing. It's going to take me directly to the email marketing section of the wheel. So you've got your title slide. As you can see down here, email delivers the highest return on investment in digital. It's got a few statistics here that you can share with your customer. How email marketing works, as you can see, it's a nicely put up presentation in terms it's got animation. It's got a pretty smooth delivery. Emails are automatically deployed by a proven proprietary platform. Again, this is just information to kind of give your customer an overview of what our email marketing program is. Every click is tracked. And then, this kind of gives you an update of the number of email campaigns that are running. Now, this particular wheel was put together for Detroit. And, we're going to, as we're going along here, I know that you all have copies of the digital playbook. Janie did a great job pulling all that information together. Brett and I helped bring some of that to her as well. We're gonna add some of that information to this as well as we go along. So, hopefully this number we're seeing where we've got this number of email campaigns, we'll try and get on top of, increasing that number if we've got them going, or how many we've run. This number might change in the future, but we'll make sure you guys have all that information as it gets updated, okay? And then here's, again, what I was mentioning about the digital playbook case studies. So this is a specific Detroit case study, but as we can add case studies to this, we can up in. So again, if you're going out to talk about, talk to somebody who's doing an arts and crafts event or a concert, we've got case studies of people who run email blast for concerts that we can drop in the information here. But again, it just keeps it nice and concise for the customer to see a great overview and a brief overview of what we can do. So in this case study, this customer did 2 email blasts, 20,000 impressions, and the number of clicks. So we can give them impression and click through. And another case study. This one for an auto dealer did 3 email blasts, 60,000 impressions. They got 792 clicks out of that. Okay.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah.
Janie just wrote in the chat box, she said that these are Metro Detroit DMA results, so we can show them and own them as ours. So, as we're Michigan.com, an entity as one, we can still, own these statistics and own these results as well, is what she's trying to say.
Right.
As far
this
as
is still our market. Basically,
right.
These statistics here are from our own market. This is who we're still talking to.
And moving forward, I think that this is probably just the first version of this. I'm sure as time goes on that we're going to have, a version 2, version 3. I think that other versions, I would think that we're going to add average click-through rates for email, certain industries and stuff like that. But this is just a really, first version of this. Janie also added own them with passion and ownership, and we will just add more that we have done over time. So, yeah.
I mean, this is a work, guys. This is something we're going to keep adding to. This version you're seeing here, like Brett said, this is the beginning point. We will add to it. We will customize it as needed. And but again, it's really important that you guys get in here and get used to using it and play around with it. This is what we want to use for our proposals. So get used to manipulating the slides, using them, working with this. So that's email marketing. As you see, we can go to a different section. So let's go to social. We'll just do that one real quick. After I do this, Brett, I can turn it over to you for more. You can go over the proposal and objectives. So for social, again, you've got a title slide. Breaks it down into the things we can do in terms of Facebook advertising first, and show some examples of our Facebook advertising, as well as some percentages about the return on the investment for the campaigns. You've got how Facebook ads work. It just again breaks down the process that we use. Custom ads are built, and how Facebook ads work. Gives you an example. This is just a quick run through with your customer, allows you to discuss. Yeah.
Can I add something here?
Yeah, please.
Guys, the thing I love about this is it is kind of short and sweet to the point. There's a few bullet points, but this is where your knowledge and depending on what you're gonna get passionate about and propose to the client. I mean, we just sat through a meeting, our kickoff meeting, showing, how video and Facebook work together. And that's where you don't have to, you're going to, go through these. And once you've done this presentation enough, you'll memorize these bullet points is what will happen when you're really good at it. And then you can bring in additional stats and facts and, hey, did you know the latest results this year, the newest released results this year are this, and this is, it's going to increase by this. And what was it? 1 in I forget the stats, but we'll write them down for you. But you guys remember those new stats that were on those videos that we watched, and that's where a presentation becomes very dynamic when you don't just talk to the slides. You start getting off the slides and telling them the new, fresh results, and it turns into a real educational situation for the client. And it doesn't have to be long and drawn out, but a few more bullet points of current data is also very, very good when you're presenting.
All right. So let me get to the next. So yeah, expertise. And again, this number with the 1,338 Facebook ad campaigns, that might grow. Again, this is a work in progress, and we will be changing and updating this to show more, because I know at this point there's probably more running. And then again, those case studies where we can drop in some of our own information, as well as keeping the Detroit DMA. But we don't want to overload it. We want to be able to use concise, precise case study information. So in this case, they had 355,000 impressions, 9,850 clicks, and their starting likes. This is nice too. The starting likes was 2,026, ended up with 9,895 likes. That's awesome. This is a really good success for them. Social media management, again, breaks it down by what the social media management program does. Okay. And again, what I really like about this this wheel presentation is the animation is nice and smooth, and it gives us a very professional front when we're showing this information to our customers. Okay, so how social media management works. Again, like Janie said, please get used to these slides. Please get used to the content on here. Just reading it off the slide just looks very clunky and just not professional. So get used to the information on here. Here's the number of social media campaigns. When this particular wheel was put together, they were running 138 social media campaigns. And again, here we get back to the case studies. So you can see there's a kind of a format we have here. Give them some information, give them how many we're currently running, and then give them the case studies. It's just really breaking it down to a nice, concise format. Oops. And then at the end of that, it goes back to the wheel. So Brett, what I'll do is, if you want to cover the proposal and objective slides, okay, I'm going to go ahead and give you presentation control here. Close out. Okay.
Okay, let me know when you can see.
There is one slide that I didn't notice that's missing, guys, and I know Jeannie mentioned video. So video isn't on here. We'll work with that. We'll figure it out as we go along. If you've got a video customer, we'll work it into this. We'll make sure that you have that information. Brett, also, if you wanted to cover at the end those slides for the covers, the pictures at the very end of the presentation for the cover slide.
Can you see my?
Yes, I can see your screen. Yep.
Okay. As Scott was saying, all these different sections as far as digital solutions, he did a pretty good run through. I wanted to add one other thing. I believe, this is just one thing, just for navigational thing. One thing that you didn't mention is that, and I know a lot of people have asked for it, how to get back to the main slide. That was the main, or the main wheel. Format. That was a question everyone had, but they did fix it on here. So if you go down to Michigan.com, not a lot of people had recognized. You can click on that, and it'll go back to the main wheel here. To make it more user friendly. So if you're presenting to someone, you're going through each slew of the products here. You can always go back down here to Michigan.com if you're kind of jumping around, or if you're talking from one thing. One to another.
So they said, hey, I have another question about something. You can go back to it pretty easily.
Yeah, just hit the Michigan.com logo down here, and it'll go back to the actual wheel. So, I mean, that was one thing that was really important that we wanted added to that. So, I know a lot of people had talked about that, and I had to, brought that up. And so they did fix that as far as, all the solutions that we have. Going to the proposal section, this is really kind of a work in progress. I know that, Scott and I had talked about this, and, Janie and I were talking about this too. But this is more or less a kind of a really simple layout for building a proposal from this format. So we have right here on the first slide is going to be strategy. So we can talk about the marketing solutions. We can start. Scott and I are talking about adding an actual format that we can have to incorporate other slides into here, and whether it's going to be in our own version of the Michigan.com wheel or one that Detroit comes out with, we're going to be adding more content so we can actually slide on what, or if we're going to have a separate deck that we'll just slide other things into. It just gives you just a base layout though for what the sections are in a proposal that we want. So we want the strategy right here, including what type of marketing objectives that we're going to be recommending to clients, and what each one of those elements are going to entail. Some maybe statistics. We also have an investment slide that we're going to be putting in here, with recommendations as far as average cost per clicks, or the average monthly spend that we need for each solution that we'll be recommending. And so that's basically what we have for the proposal section right now. But like I said, we're going to be adding more. We have an objectives part, here, to where we're going to be talking about the different objectives that we're going to be recommending. Insights as far as industry insights and other research that we're going to be pulling, either from Marketing 411, or if we're including that into an actual geo audit that we have. But we would like to keep this, the branding for this format in Michigan.com moving in this direction is sort of like the wheel layout. So again, this is really still early stages, but we expect that we're going to be putting this type of format together moving forward. And also, again, it's going to be strategy, another strategy element that we're going to have there. Scott, do you want to add anything to this? I know we were talking about this.
No, I mean, I think you're covering it. Again, insights, that's where Brett and I and you, when we're working together, we pull information from SpyFu. Here's where we can put that information. We're pulling information about the industry for that client, whether it's, accounting firms or dentistry or whatever, this is the part we'll put that in. And again, so this is just going to be more detailed information that's directly affecting or directly about that specific customer we're meeting with.
Well, we're also talking about, creating another resource to pull this information into, right, Scott?
Right. Yeah, Brett and I are going to be working with, just trying to have maybe some more industry-specific slides that, hopefully you guys can just drop in there as well. So we're trying to make this a maybe not necessarily quick, but an efficient way for you guys to put together proposals that, again, look very professional. This is a very nice, polished, professional presentation. And this is really what we need, and also the fact that it kind of keeps us as a unified front under Michigan.com just helps us really identify ourselves out there in the marketplace.
Yep. And so, well, let me get to the end here. It's not letting me start from that. We're going to be talking about the last slides that we have. The slides that we're talking about for the covers. The covers, yeah. It didn't let me come through here. Hold on 1 second. I just couldn't start it and have it. I tried starting.
This presentation ever.
It's still beta formats, So let's see, print ads. Okay. So these are going to be the covers that we can use for each industry. So I believe this is down in Detroit. Is this not the? Is this the building down in Detroit? No, this isn't the building.
Yeah. I think it might actually be.
Okay. All right. Well, this could be just for an overview. You know, if you have one that's not specific industry related, or if you might have a miscellaneous industry, we could just use this one. It's just a nice photo, you know, that's professional looking. We also have one for food, the food industry. Anyone that's dealing within, you know, grocery stores or any type of industry of that nature. Auto, there's one for auto. And again, we're probably going to be incorporating more slides that we can choose from. This is what we have. You know, here's another one of some buildings that we have, and education. This is a coffee shop or something of that.
Yeah, it could be a coffee shop. It could be an interior designer firm. It could be, you know, a boutique. I mean, you know, just something nice and clean.
Yep. Technology, possibly anything related to business services. And then we have a nice downtown, you know, picture here. Casino, maybe casino, hotel, resorts type of thing. Venues, concerts, construction, or, you know, home industry. Real estate, and medical. And then the last slide here is basic instructions for the PowerPoint. So we have at the very last, it's 101. So I guess it would be called, this would be Wheel 101. So use the appropriate category slide and add content, name and date. Use a set of 3 standard coremichigan.com slides.
Which is those first 3 that we talked about,
right.
The first 3 at the beginning.
Add an objective slide. You know, so we're talking about that. What are the objectives of the client? You know, what are we putting together here? What are we recommending? Tell your story using the template slides. So using your own experience, maybe clients that you've worked in the past, you can maybe be relaying some stories and giving some insights on your experience, and then also giving some, like Scott and Janie said, you know, making it more lively and not just talking from the PowerPoint, but, you know, using your own knowledge and incorporating those, and, you know, using your own story and fusing it into the PowerPoint. Creating separate chapters with the chapter slide. You know, so segmenting different, you know, the different recommendations of digital or print, you know, segmenting those and putting them into, you know, your own version of this. Add a solution slide. This contains the strategy. So, you know, maybe we're getting that from the audit from Geo, and we can put in those, we can put in that content and that material, and, you know, to kind of tailor make it into this brandingofmichigan.com. Add a proposal slide, and so, you know, we're going to have the proposal elements in there, you know, with the recommendations and then the investment strategies. That will be, you know, the proposal and investment slide. And then, you know, thank you for basically, you know, the time, you know, having the client giving you the time for us to share our recommendations. Anything to add to that, Scott?
No, I think you covered it. I mean, I think, you know, again, these are just suggestions for basic PowerPoint use, guys. It's the last slide on this presentation. You know, the font and copy guidelines, it's just, you know, what they're suggesting we use. You know, not modifying the logo, the colors. We got to keep consistent font and colors. You know, keeping Calibri 24-point font. You know, keeping our body copy, you know, is Calibri Light, anywhere between 16 and 12-point font. Again, it's just having a nice, clean, consistent front when we're presenting these to customers.
Yep. And I think the last one here, when using text slides, keep the copy no more than 2 lines per bullet. 1 line whenever possible. The exception would be the proposal slide.
Right.
So, you know, making sure that we have that brand continuity going throughout the whole slide, and making sure that, you know, we're not having, like Scott said, different fonts and different lines and everything going everywhere. And it does make it easier for you guys. So, you know, all the proposals that we have built out, I know they all look different from one to another. So this is where we're trying to really make it unified and make everything have that brand continuity. So it not only will make it simpler, but it'll make it, you know, easier to learn and to build from this point on. So I think at this point we're going to be talking about you're going to have more of an open discussion. I know that there was a concern that I think Julie had in the beginning.
Yeah, that one street scene slide had pharmacy, I think, was reversed. Julie, we'll take a look at getting that fixed up.
Okay. And any other, insights or any other type of opinions that anyone has out there for improvement, or how to build a proposal off this? Feel free to speak up right now, because this is really, like you said, this is going to be the first version that we're rolling out. We're going to still be adding elements, and we're going to be adding more, levels and layers to this as time goes on. But we like to hear a lot of insight, and we can. Even though we have this format and we have this format from Detroit, we still have we still have discretion on certain elements to be able to do certain things that we want that might improve our own, make things easier for us and improve our own delivery of this. So if anyone has any questions or concerns about this, feel free to speak up. And voice.
Hey, Brett.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Ron. I just want to say I think this thing is fantastic, because in doing proposals in the past, I was just having to pull things from this one or that one, or going through old ones and looking for the stuff I needed. This thing just gives it to me in one spot. All I have to do is just take what I need and I'm done.
Yeah, yep, that's the point. That's the point. Make it easier, and not only make it easier, but like I said, to have the brand continuity flow through with our presentations. I think it's it's a good thing. Good thing. Janie, do you have any insights? As I know you have experience with working with a format like this. What are some of your recommendations or things that you can give to us? Because this is sort of a new direction that we're going in as far as putting in proposals or delivering content to clients. I know, but this is a format that is familiar to you. Can you give any insights as to, your experience with it?
Absolutely. First of all, I was just thrilled when we got this, and it, like Brett says, it really overviews our brand. We can insert a slide if you guys feel like, if you're just going to talk print or whatever, and talk about each of the mastheads. There's so many different things that we can do with it, but this is it just sets you apart. Anytime you do a professional presentation as opposed to just spitting, people learn from showing and telling, and it's almost like you're telling them and they're reading it at the same time, so it's sinking in more, and it's just you become, and you guys have seen it, any of you that have done a professional presentation, the customer becomes more engaged. And those of you that have iPads, it's really cool on an iPad if you haven't done it yet. So it just takes you into that digital, just basically setting yourself apart from the competition, number one. Number two, it's all in how you do it. You go in, you have your needs, evaluate needs, and you've got notes, and you come back and you spend some time and put this professional presentation together. And when you go back for your present close, Mr. Customer, I took a lot of notes. I heard a lot of, we discussed a lot of your needs and the direction you want to go with your marketing plan. So I put some things together for you, so we can.
Hello?
I think we just lost her. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we got the gist of it, though. Yeah, like Janie said, it just makes this really fluid, a lot more easier to convey information and make that branding stick out a lot more, on all realms, and have it, kind of infiltrate all of, our branding. So, Scott, anything else to add to that? I mean, I think we've kind of covered everything, but if you want to add anything, or if you're seeing any other questions come up in the chat box.
Nope. I mean, I think we've covered it. Guys, I think the biggest thing to take away from this is just get used to using this. Go in, you have to play around with it. You've got to get used to, the navigation, and just, I'm really glad that Janie got this. I think that, the first version of the wheel we got was just tremendously big. I think this is much more applicable to our needs and our situations. So I'm very pleased that we have this, and it's a good tool.
Guys, I'm back. Sorry.
No worries.
My internet was reconnecting. I don't know where I left off, but basically, what we need to do is just jump in the water and go with this. And if you guys don't know how to manipulate the slides or copy and paste in the slides, it's very, very easy. I love that they have some guidelines at the bottom, so please follow that. But let's just, everybody get their feet wet. Everybody get in there. Everybody try it, you know. And then, like, we did a tiny bit of overview at the O&E meeting. We'll work on it at the Livingston meeting as well. And then we'll do some role plays. And I think everybody building a presentation and getting used to this. I mean, obviously the one Scott and Brett go on, they're going to want to have some additional input with some additional data, but you guys have access to everything they do. Didn't pull the data. I mean, brag, show off, you know, show Brett and Scott what you've got, you know, show them, you know, hey, I just built the presentation for this appointment that you and I are going on, and show them, make it, you know, that's where you're going to learn. So that's the expectation, is get in it, try it. We're going to work on it in meetings. We're going to role play. So everybody needs to get one account ready to go, prepped, added slides, added strategy, solutions, you know, proposal, all of that. And then we will be doing it at our next meeting. Now, Livingston, it's not like you guys have to do it for tomorrow, but I know most of you guys, you probably will have it ready to go for tomorrow. So we can certainly go over this and get this thing launched and ready to go.
Also, just let you know, Julie, let you know I fixed that photo, so I'll make sure you guys have copies of the fixed slide. So, already fixed.
Okay. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to speak up. But if not, like Jenny said, just get familiar with this, and we'll be adding more things for, you know, injecting proposal, investment strategy, all that stuff, and show you recommendations. We'll probably go over that, you know, in a couple of weeks once we have more material to put into there, into those sections, and we'll give everyone that deck so we can, you know, talk about how to interject those elements and infuse it within this in this deck. So, with that said, if no one has any other questions, we can wrap it up, and we'll talk next time. So
thanks, guys. Again, thanks for joining us, and